In the post-apocalyptic world of the Fallout series, survival is never guaranteed. The wasteland is filled with mutated bears, giant insects, and irradiated zombie-like beings. Yet there is one creature that stands above them all. It is the ultimate nightmare of the wastes, the Deathclaw. From its terrifying design to its in-game history, the Deathclaw is a perfect monster. It's not just a random product of nuclear fallout, but a reminder of human science gone wrong. A common mistake is thinking the Deathclaw was created by the nuclear bombs. In reality, their history starts before the Great War of 2077. The United States military wanted to replace human troops with deadly controlled monsters. To do this, they experimented with animal DNA, and they used the Jackson's chameleon as a genetic base, mixing it with other animal traits to create a living weapon. After the bombs dropped and the world ended, these creatures escaped into the ruined world. A villain known as the Master later captured some of them, and he exposed them to the forced evolutionary virus. That was a mouthful. A green sludge that causes extreme mutations. This made the Deathclaws even bigger, stronger, and more aggressive, and they multiplied quickly, spreading across the ruins of America and cementing their place at the top of the food chain. Visually, the Deathclaw is designed to inspire pure panic. It walks on two legs, standing roughly 9 to 12 feet tall. It has a thick, scaly hide that can shrug off most gunfire. And the most famous features of a Deathclaw are the massive, sweeping horns on its head and the razor-sharp, foot-long claws on its hands. If we look at real life, the Deathclaw borrows heavily from history and nature. Its hunched, two-legged posture and powerful legs are very similar to theropod dinosaurs like a T-Rex or a Velociraptor. Giant claws function much like those of a real-life grizzly bear or the prehistoric Therizinosaurus, designed to swipe and tear with brutal force. Pardon me. The most interesting real-life connection is the Jackson's chameleon. In nature, male Jackson's chameleons have 3 distinct horns on their faces. The Deathclaw keeps these horns, though they are much larger. While most Deathclaws lose the ability to change colours over time, the connection is not completely gone. In Fallout 4, players can actually encounter a rare chameleon Deathclaw that turns invisible, proving their reptilian roots are still active. The history of the Deathclaw is tied to every era of the Fallout universe. In the original, they are treated like a ghost story. People in the wasteland whisper about a monster in the dark, and seeing one for the first time is a terrifying, hard-fought battle. By Fallout 2, the lore gets even stranger. A surviving government group called the Enclave begin testing on Deathclaws to make them smarter. They succeeded, creating a pack of highly intelligent Deathclaws that could actually speak English. One of these talking creatures, named Gorus, would even join the player on their journey, and sadly the talking Deathclaws were mostly wiped out, making them a rare piece of history. In Fallout 3 and New Vegas, the creatures become pack hunters. New Vegas is famous for a location called Quarry Junction, a death trap filled with alpha males, mothers, and babies that learn to avoid at all costs. That players learn to avoid at all costs. In Fallout 4 and 76, Bethesda upgraded their visual design. Honestly, I think it's a bit of a downgrade, to be honest. The Deathclaws in New Vegas and 3 is they're just so much better design. They could have just increased on the look, but instead they just look more like dinosaurs, which is a shame. They looked so much cooler in the originals. Anyway. They made much bulkier and more agile. Instead of just running straight at the player, they now roar, dodge bullets, and can physically pick the player up and throw them across the ground. Even the recent Fallout TV show pays respect to the legend of this beast. While the creators wanted to hold off on showing a living Deathclaw early on to build suspense, the Season 1 finale ends with a chilling seas. In the desert sand outside of New Vegas, a massive horned Deathclaw skull rests upon the ground, promising that the apex predator will soon return to the screen, which of course it did in Season 2 for quite a good amount of plot there. The Deathclaw is a perfect piece of video game history. It combines the scary look of a dinosaur with the tragedy of a government science experiment, which Fallout loves evil science. Whether you're running from them in the early games, sneaking past them in a dusty quarry, or watching them dodge your attacks in the modern titles, the feeling is always the same. The Deathclaw commands respect, and it proves that the scariest thing in the wasteland were not made by the bombs, but by humanity themselves.